Hello, everybody. Nice to have you over here. It's my pleasure today again to welcome you on the next Frogeex Green Tech Live. Today, it's again Diego Romeiro from the Global Impact Alliance with us. And today we have also a very specific topic, but also a very general one, generic one. So ESG is something that you hear a lot about. Many companies start to work with it. It's very much spread, but almost like a buzzword, especially in people working in the corporate environment. And this is why we also had a discussion around this with Diego, also chief scientist in the Global Impact Alliance, looking at holistic sustainability, at larger pieces, more complex pieces of sustainable journeys for companies or even for municipalities. So, and one element that we came across was with ESG. It's always a little bit of a grayish area where we tend to have a lot of points where there is a disconnect, almost like a disconnect in terms of where the vision is and where we see the real results of these frameworks. So, Diego, from your perspective, looking at it from the holistical side, or more from the systemic point of view, why is it that we see ESG frameworks are kind of failing to deliver the results which we kind of envision creating, and also kind of pushing these type of concepts? Why do you think this kind of fail may be the impression that we get? Or do you have maybe on the opposite side kind of feeling, no, this works really well, we are doing really great job here? What is your perspective on that? Maybe you can share with us.
Yeah, like most of the fail in the ESG comes from the disconnection that they have between subjects. So even the name, the ESG, it's connected. So they treat like the environmental part, the social and governance like separate things. And when we think about sustainability, and when we think from a correct, or from not a correct, but from a perspective that we know that can work properly, from a perspective that nature works. So we think about the holistic ecology, and even the holistic ecology, like the approach, it's interconnected, like the social, it's all interconnected. So most of the times the ESG fail because this disconnection. So they treat separate like the things. Like an example, companies said that they reduce the CO2 emissions. And most of the times they treat this complete separate from other aspects. So they can reduce the CO2 emissions, or even offsetting this in another project far from the company. And these don't bring good results for the company, like a, a good project to reduce CO2 emissions could improve like uh, uh, the security about floods near from a company. So if you set a forest near from a company, you can reduce the CO2 emissions. You can improve the security about floods. So the forest can reduce the chance of a flood, can improve the air quality near from the company. So this is the main point, that ESG most of the times fail to get or to reach the targets and to improve the well-being, not just for the well-being of nature, like the biodiversity, but our own well-being within a city or a municipality, or within the company. So this disconnection, it's the main problem.
And when we talk about this connection, I mean, I really find it quite interesting what you're saying in terms of the challenge. So, I mean, we have this nice frameworks, we have all these pledges, we have some journeys. We don't come to the final target, to reach the target. Sometimes it's even a longer horizon. But what is like, from your perspective, the challenge that we have in terms of putting the dynamics, the movement, in a proper order, that we kind of get the grip on the actual problem?
Uh, yeah, I think the first thing that we need to face to really like even to set the pledge that most of the companies set, we need to think like um, thinking that the company is like an organism. With this thinking, you can understand better the interconnection between things. So it's like the our own body. It's all interconnected. You cannot like save your lung and lose the other bodies, so the other organs in your body. So you need to think like a system working together to create something new, and then come the idea about the emergent properties. So it's when you think about a system, all the pieces of the system, when work together, create something new that the separate pieces don't produce alone. So the point in the ESG or all the corporate sustainability, when you think that like the corporate, it's like an organism working together, and all the pieces need to work together to create something new, to create like these emerging properties. This is the way that we can start to understand better how to propose actions within the company to really reach the targets. Because in systems, when you understand the system that you are working on, you can do small changes and create chain reactions within the system. And this is the key element, because with this idea, you can reduce the time, effort, and the money expend in actions. You can do like surgical actions within the company to
Mm,
achieve better results. And this is something that the ESG miss a lot, because they work separately, all the aspects. So they work just with the social, just with the governance, just with the environmental, but they don't connect all the elements. So this is the this is why they fail a lot.
mhm. Yeah, many times it's exactly like what you're saying. The companies or the consultants which we work with in this field typically tend to focus on an area, as what you said. They're looking more into exactly the social part. Sharon, thank you also for the comment. We will come to that at a later point. Or it's the environmental, or it's the government piece. So, or governance piece. So yeah, definitely an interesting point that you make there. Now we have also large numbers of people, companies coming into this field now, having also this interest of, yeah, let's do something. Climate change. Everybody wants to take action. In a way, we have this activation level in the population, in the society. We see it more on media. We kind of get the message across, but we have also this kind of disconnect to what does it really mean. What is for you maybe a kind of tip or a hint for people in consulting, people doing maybe certifications or advisory services on this topic, how to not how to convert the good intent to help combine it with like solid sustainability, maybe going further or beyond the like frameworks, theoretical frameworks? What would be your tip or recommendation for them? How to make it more real, more substance driven?
Yeah, like I know that some companies have a good intention to really make things possible, but yeah, like I think um, yeah, the key point for most of transformation or the change within companies. It's the culture of the company. It's the first point, because like people could change. If you don't have a good culture within the company, it's impossible to set a pledge or achieve a goal within the company, because you need the people working together. It's the same idea when we talk about a living organism, about the company.
Mm,
So all the employees within the company are part of this living organism, and all the people need to work together. So the best way to really achieve the goals or the pledge that the company set is to work to change the culture of the people inside the company. So you need to teach basically, like to have a transformation, you need knowledge and you need action. Without these two things, it's impossible to achieve any pledge that the company set. So you need to give knowledge for the people, and you need to give a good understand for the people why they are doing things. And this is almost the main problem in all the companies. They fail to deliver a pledge or to reach a goal because people don't understand why they are doing that. And this is the main point that we need to work. So it's possible to work with companies and set a lot of pledges, and we see this with consultants companies and all, but they most of the companies don't work with the people, don't explain to people why they are doing that, or how this can improve the company, how this can improve the well-being of the employees inside the company. And this is the key element. When you start to work together with all the employees, then like the living organisms that are the company will start to reach the goals, and yeah, start to like the transformation will start to happen.
mm. Got your point. I hear you, and you also kind of to go back to what you were saying before. Many times it's the money element, the cost element that is like on the priority, on the radar for stakeholders in an organization, where you have a kind of entry point also to discuss such topic. For sustainability, I mean, all of us that are potentially or probably within such type of talks like Frogeex has, and many of our also partner organizations, etc., live in the sphere where sustainability is a premium product. I mean, it's something that is many times, a very bitter pill to swallow, I would say, because actually, all of us working in this field know that you can only save costs and kind of optimize. What is your perspective on that? Also, maybe a recommendation for consultants, how to what is the narrative over there, what can help them to kind of unlock this perception.
Yeah, like well, the main perception about sustainability is will cost more, and this most of the times happens because they work uh, with separate things, or they disconnect things. So all the time you need to do a lot of actions in different points of the company without understand the system, and this will cost more. When you start to understand the system or these living organisms, like the thinking about the corporate, like a living organism, you can do small changes and create a chain reaction within the system, and this will cost less for the company. So in the end, sustainability in sometimes cost more because they don't know what they are doing, because they do a lot of actions together without understand the system. But when you start to understand the system, you can do less and achieve more results,
Mm,
because you reach the like the key element in the system, and cause a chain reaction within the system. So this is the point. Sustainability don't need to cost more for everybody.
Mm.
It's
This
otherwise need it's made for cost less for people.
it's a super interesting point that you make. And could you maybe give us an example, a practical example of what you just were sharing for at industry? I'm not quite sure. Pharma maybe would be, or food. I mean, we have all the sectors. Whichever comes to your mind first, where we can
Uh,
these little pieces of the chain coming together.
yeah, like one example that I like very much is the combining green rooftops with solar panels. So
Mm.
when you put a green rooftop, you can reduce like you can control better the temperature inside the building. You can catch water from the rain, and the green rooftop can filter the water, so you can use less filter systems to treat this water. And the green rooftop combined with the solar panel can reduce the stress for the plants in the green rooftop, and this cool down that the plants cause in the rooftop can improve the energy production in the solar panel. So when you combine a lot of elements together, you improve the results of this system. So you can see with this small example, combine things, it's better because improve the results of the each piece, or like the solar panel improve the results, the energy production. You clear the water from the rain, you reduce or you can control better the temperature inside the building. You can you can capture CO2 using
Mm.
the green rooftop. So it's a lot of results with one only action or one improvement that you do to the company. So this is the way how we can combine things and
Mhm.
collect better results with one project only.
Yes, I mean, I agree. The building application, I mean, for us, again, very interesting. Being in the building sector, that's where we come from. That this is really where we speak. So it's super interesting to see, and I completely agree with you. It's the combinations, the mosaic of solutions. It's not only let's build with wood, let's build with bamboo only. It's a combination, because you need to have this balance of, I don't know, how do we manage the resources, how much can we manage, how much do we need to regenerate, I mean, how do we trade this off, and why would we do it, why would we consider at all the materials. So
Yeah.
I fully read you. And now you work also a lot in this complex systems. We had also the introduction on biodiversity credits last time, and you have also an interesting tool developed. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more on the role of the Wisdom Age Index, what it should be, what it should do, and how can companies leverage that? Is it maybe something also that could help or enhance ESG as what it is as a framework right now?
hmm Yeah, like the Wisdom Age Index, it's a framework or an approach that we are building uh, that have the idea to integrate all the elements from a holistic ecology perspective. So when we work with holistic ecology, even our species is integrated to the nature. So we work all these elements together. So within this approach, we work from people to environmental to, yeah, like we integrate the life. So the well-being of the employees inside the company, how improve that, how the company can uh, be more aligned with nature, and how different companies can be aligned to work together to improve the well-being for the society. So it's a different approach, very different from the ESG, because it's very interconnected. We interconnect all the dots. So from the people to the environment, how all these work together properly. And we help the companies to assess all this, to assess all this information, and based on the information that we collect from the companies, we can set actions to make what I mentioned before, like to small actions that achieve the best results in the company, causing chain reactions to improve the well-being, to improve the alignment with nature, to reduce the emissions, to improve the energy, to interconnect all the things. So with that, we can like create a real integration between company and nature, or and the planet. So this is the idea.
Mhm. And also, this, and I mean, as we connect everything, it's all interconnected, and I love it. It's also a great kind of bridge to my following question, because do you also consider somehow regulation in this assessment? For example, for per country, do you put it into certain like parameters, or something to advise the company, or maybe the country, what they can maybe need to comply with, or is regulation
Mhm.
kind of not included?
Uh, yeah, like it's difficult when we talk about nature. It's difficult to set a regulation because, like, each country have particularities,
Hmm.
and it's like nature. You have different environmentals, you have different biomes, so each time you need to work close to the company or to the municipality to understand like the environmental there. So it's difficult to set a pattern or a regulation that all the companies need to follow this, because you need it's very customized work in the area. When we talk about real sustainability, it's very customized because you need to understand the system that the company face. So where is the company, where is like what kind of environmental the company is included. So it's difficult to set a regulation in that way. Yeah, we can set some patterns, but the best is to customize for each company or for each municipality or each country. Like
Mm.
it's difficult to set a regulation uh, even in Europe. You have Portugal, Spain, with like one kind of weather, and when we talk about Germany, it's completely different from like it's near but completely different. So we need to understand this difference and work in a customized way in each area, even within a country. Like here in Brazil, we have Atlantic forest and Amazon forest. Both are rainforest, but have the particularities. So we need to work using this difference.
Mhm. And you work then with a network of people locally to have all these experts in the ecotype or in the country, or how would you access like information around like the geography to tailor the plan or the assessment?
Yeah, sometimes you can have experts in the area, but yeah, like to 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 know or to have access about the knowledge in each area. Yeah, we have a lot of studies
Mhm.
from ecology and all, so it's not difficult to access the information about the environmental.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, like sometimes experts from the area can help a lot.
Good. I have one quick question, and maybe one that we can spend a little bit more time on, because we have like less than 5 minutes left. So the first one would be the new CSRD regulation, or draft of the new regulation is out now. There are certain, yeah, pullbacks, I would say, in terms of the formulations that were before much more detailed, much more, going into the elements of real sustainability. What is your perspective on that? We can recommend to everybody the link to check this for themselves. What is your perspective on that, as also coming from the behavioral science corner? What can it trigger on the market? We have now all these companies that are left on their own to basically decide kind of on the importance of the elements in terms of sustainability. What can it be in terms of risks? What it can be as a positive opportunity for us as a society in Europe, especially?
Yeah, like for me, it's very risky to leave the responsibility to choose for the to the companies, because like most of the times we fail a lot, or we see a lot of companies fail because the lack of knowledge. So the lack of knowledge, it's a key point or a key element in this new regulation. So you can decide, or you can identify what is risk or not for you based on your knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge enough to assess that, like this can put us in more risk than before. So yeah, I think could be a good start, but yeah, I don't see like good outcomes from this new regulation.
So it's very hard to kind of give responsibility to decide on importance if there is no ground understanding of what needs to be done and the implications. I mean, you talked about viability for business. We have very clear data on the projections. We have some historical data that are also showing us some trends. We have some first implications that we see with extreme weather events, with heat waves, and what you have. And so it's a very interesting move. Definitely something to watch also for all the other people involved or watching this replay. And maybe the last question from my side, I think it's going to be that. Do you have any best practice that you can share, like a great example of where ESG was taken as a framework, it was really established, and the connections just worked? If you like to name the company, would be amazing. If you would like to just share with us their practice, would be also very welcome.
Mm,
Negative examples also work, so we can learn from the gaps.
yeah,
If whatever
like
comes first to you.
yeah, like find companies that make good. Yeah, it's most of the like even this talking about the regulation again comes from the financial area. So in the end, it's more financial that nature, like from the nature perspective. So, and it's the same that happens with the companies. Most of the companies look from the financial perspectives and not from the nature perspectives, because that most of, like we can see a lot of companies in the top of the ESG, like energy companies, pulp and paper industry. Most of the companies from the paper industry are the top of the ESG. But in the end, when we look to from our nature perspectives, they fail a lot, because they are looking just to one thing. Like the energy companies, they are looking just to produce renewable energy, but in the meantime, they cause a lot of impact to produce this energy, and they fail in that because they don't connect the dots. So like a key element in sustainability is the land footprint, and none of the companies look to that. So when we talk about energy production, they lose the opportunity to interconnect things like agri-photovoltaics,
Mhm.
and or even produce energy in the rooftop, like the example that I gave. So this it's a lot of they lack this interconnection between things, and they produce a lot of impact to produce one good thing, like the renewable energy, and they cause impacts in the hydrological cycle. They impact the biodiversity. They impact the well-being of the people in the society. So it's a lot of impacts to produce one good thing. It's the same thing like when we look to the pulp and paper industry. They Yeah, it's a material, it's renewable, but in the end they are causing problems to the hydrological cycle because they are using monoculture to produce the pulp. They reduce the biodiversity. They increase the impacts like the erosion and all these, causing problems in the water supply for cities and all. So most of the times we see these top ESG companies appears like great companies, but they are producing one good thing and create a lot of impact. So this is the fail of the ESG, not interconnect things. They are look just to one good thing and not for the impact on the system.
Wow, so that was I think a word in the end. Thank you so much, Diego, for being with us here today and sharing your perspective on ESG, and also a systemic view on ESG and how does it connect, or in that matter of our discussion today, rather disconnects to the understanding of a system in general or as a whole, as one functioning piece of an element, a living organism. So thank you so much with this. I'll see you on the next one, and I wish you all a great rest of the day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.